Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. It is Tuesday morning, November the 14th, 2017, episode number 217, and I'm so glad to be here this morning with you. I hope that your Monday went exceptionally well, and we are about to embark on a fine Tuesday in front of us. So yesterday was one of those days for me that was a very busy work day. Rapid Monday morning with Thanksgiving 10 days away and people trying to get their truckloads of produce on the road to get across the country. And trucks are impossible to hire to carry produce right now because everybody is in the crunch time to get the stores filled with produce. And so you spend all day trying to figure out how to get things loaded. And that was what yesterday morning looked like. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Dad. Hope your trip is going great. And so it was a busy Monday. And by the end of the day, I ran some errands and stuff like that. And then it was one of those Mondays during the winter cold times that I love, which is by 6 o'clock. I was sitting on the couch. It was dark outside. It was very relaxing. And that was it. During the summer, you're running like high speed all the way until 9, 10 o'clock at night. I love the wintertime. Cool. The Rhine River. Nice. My father and mother are on the Rhine River this morning and having a great travel. By the way, Dad, I love your Indiana Jones. It's not really Indiana Jones. I don't know what it is, but it's a very cool hat. I dig it. I love it. So on we go. So I do have... I've got a shower thought for you this morning. Here's something to think about. George Orwell predicted cameras watching us in our homes, but he did not predict that we would buy and install those cameras ourselves. It's so true, man. If you look back at any movies that are doing futuristic type stuff, it's the man watching us with cameras in our house. Who would have ever guessed that we'd be buying those cameras to watch our houses ourselves? Like, it's kind of funny, So speaking of, Amazon came out, was it a week ago? Maybe more than that. Maybe a month ago now, with their own version of a camera that you can install inside your house. They look very cool, very affordable. Works with your Alexa if you have an Alexa, which I still don't have one of those. I would like to get one of those home, the automated devices, just to stay on the cutting edge and know how that works. And I haven't bought one yet. But anyways, they do have a new camera out that looks like it works really well. But I haven't purchased one of those myself. Anyways, on we go. I do have some stories here for you this morning. This first story, I love, guys, that I love innovation and I love sharing innovative thoughts and creative thinking and new products with you guys. It's just, I love how people think on how to solve problems and then come up with solutions. And this was fascinating. So this has to do with Ford Motor Company, and they've been working with some other companies coming up with new products. And this article is about one product in particular, but in the article, they talked about another product that they made that I had never heard of. So listen to this. The company has developed the Ford Safe Cap, they call it. They call it the Safe Cap, which is a hat like this for truckers to wear. After conducting research identifying which head movements were associated with the job and which indicated lack of attention and fatigue, the companies, that's Ford working with another company, developed a software to tell the difference and outfitted the trucker cap with sensors and a gyroscope to warn the driver with sound, light, and vibration. So they now know which movements, if a trucker makes, show a sign of fatigue. So if the hat goes the slow droop, then it'll sign off or make lights and sounds and stuff to wake that driver up. This is fascinating. I mean, why haven't they made this a long time? Why don't they have, if Apple iPhone can have facial recognition, why doesn't your car have a recognition to watch your eyes and see when your eyes close for an extended period of time and give you a warning sign? It's coming. It's right there. They already can do it. They just haven't done it yet, I mean, they're still making cigarette lighters in cars when nobody smokes in cars practically anymore, and you don't charge your phone off them anymore because most of them have a USB port. Why not do a facial recognition to keep us awake? It just makes perfect sense, So Ford is no stranger to marketing projects. This is the second product. Earlier this year in Spain, the company unveiled a smart crib that mimics a car's motion and sensory experience to help babies fall asleep. Another one. If you're a parent, this makes perfect sense, right? Your kids fall asleep as soon as they get in the car. I mean, this is amazing. The response was so strong, it became an available option for car buyers in Spain. So there you go. So Ford, love those guys, man. Got to tell you, great company. So big fan. So next article I have here, this one, 2 parts. One, informational. So this I did not know. This has to do with marathon running. The main gist of this article is about these new shoes. We're going to get to that. But listen to this first part. This is interesting information. I never knew this. I'm not a runner. Okay? So for the first 20 miles or so in a marathon, you need to go slower than your body wants. For the last 6 miles or so, you need to go faster. If you feel like you're jogging in the beginning and blazing at the end, then you're probably running evenly throughout the whole race. The ideal way to run a marathon is likely through what is called a negative split. Now, I'm not a runner, okay? So this is where I'm like getting intrigued on this thing. Running the second half slightly faster than the first is the way you're supposed to run marathons, which is harder than it sounds. Roughly 1 in 30 runners from the 2015 New York City Marathon, that's the most recent one that they were able to dig into, ran the negative split. In the 2016 U.S. Men's Olympic Marathon Trials, only 3 of 108 entrants ran the second half faster. Those men came in first, second, and third. So it's a winning approach to running marathons to run the second half faster than the first half, which is amazing. That is not the gist of this article, but I thought that was very informative. So I did not know that. This is what the article is really about. Nike has introduced a new shoe called the Zoom Vaporfly 4%. The shoe uses a special kind of very light foam found in airplane insulation and is designed to optimize the classic engineering trade-off between performance and weight. The essential motion in running is lifting your foot off the ground, so you want the shoes to be very light, but then your foot crashes down and you need to cushion the blow. Meanwhile, you also need to spring yourself down the road. So Nike's engineers sandwiched in a small carbon fiber plate shaped like a spoon and curved in such a way that it theoretically propels you forward. Now, Chad, I'm with you. I run quick with donuts too, man. We might need these shoes together, my friend. Here's the question that I have for you guys. It is not a question. There's a lot in here on whether these shoes work. There's a list of the people who won the marathons in the last year. All the winners are wearing these shoes. So does it work? Read this article if you want to know if these shoes work or not. Why I want to share this is, here is the question, guys. If they were sandwiching in a small carbon fiber plate shaped like a spoon and curved in such a way that it theoretically propels you forward, at what point, guys, when people are running and breaking records, do you have to say, you know what? Yeah, they might have broke a record, but they are not as fast as the people of past because they are using equipment to make them faster, not physically faster. A shoe that has something that pushes them forward. A swimsuit in the Olympics that makes them float, therefore faster on the water. At what point do you say, you know what? Yes, we've outlawed performance-enhancing drugs, but what about performance-enhancing gear? This is a question. This is why I want to share this article. I don't know the answer to that. It's just a question, though, right? Because now you have to look back and see people who weren't as fast as modern-day athletes, but were they actually better athletes, you know? So, an interesting article. If you want to know more about these shoes, this article, of course, will be in the show links, freedomconvo.com. Click on the morning show. Most recent episode will be there usually 15 minutes after we get done with the live broadcast. So, and you can read this entire article. There's very compelling evidence that these shoes do work. So, but you can read this article on your own. So, last story for you this morning. This one, I don't know. I was reading this last night. My wife was sitting next to me, and she's looking at the article on my computer, and And I started explaining to her what this is about. And she's like, huh? I'm like, yes. Okay. So here we go. This article is mainly about the idea of toys. People take their stuffed animal or little figurine on vacation with them, and they take pictures of that figurine while they're on. And this is very common. It's a very popular thing. No problem with it. I get it. Lots of adults make toys the centerpiece of their travel dispatches. Almost every person I spoke to, this person writing the article, knew someone who had taken a toy traveling. Totally get it. No big deal about it. You know, something about pictures of toys by famous world landmarks makes a certain breed of traveler feel particularly worldly. The familiar and the foreign together, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. Here is where it gets strange. In 2010, Azuma, this lady, quit her job in Tokyo's financial industry to start a travel agency. Not just any travel agency, but one that caters exclusively to stuffed animals. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, stuffed animals are booking a vacation and the person who owns the stuffed animal is going on vacation with it. No, that's incorrect. To date, Unagi Travel Agency has organized trips for more than 100 stuffed animals, many of which have become repeat customers. Prices for trips vary depending on the destination, but standard tours of Tokyo and its surroundings go for $50. This is seriously a trip for your stuffed animal, guys. Clients ship their toys to Azuma, and they stay with her for 2 or 3 weeks, during which time their adventures are promptly reported back to their owners via social media posts. At the end of the tour, Azuma ships them home. Tours include visits to the capital's most iconic landmarks, as well as a variety of other activities. I take them to yoga classes, soccer games, marathons, or visiting car factories like Mazda, as I think they, the clients, enjoy their activities more than just sightseeing or eating out at restaurants. Seriously, guys, people are paying to have their stuffed animals go on vacation. Like, seriously. This is the one. Here we go. Before taking the cuddly companions out, Azuma asked their owners to fill out a short questionnaire. She relies on these to inform the trips, but also goes with her gut. Last week I had a rabbit, Dennis was his name, joining from Washington in the U.S. I wasn't sure if he liked Japanese food, but I felt he was enjoying it. So I expressed that in the photos and videos I shared, she says. Maybe half is based on the profile, but half is the imagination that comes from communicating with the stuffed animals. Yeah. All right. Let's just end right there. Because, yeah, I stopped saying anything right there. Let's move on, guys. This morning, top 10 most searched things on Google Trends. Number 1, hole punch history. Interesting. Number 2, Roy Moore. Number 3, Carolina Panthers. Number 4, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Number 5, the Cavs basketball team. Number 6, Italy. Number 7, James Woods. Number 8, Colin Kaepernick. Number 9, GE stock. Number 10, Bayou Phillips. Those are the top 10 most searched things. If any of those intrigue you, Google it in and see what everybody's reading about. So there you go. And let's go with some trending news this morning. Top of the list, Donald, and you know, it's funny because I do the trending news from Facebook where they have the trending news. So I just pulled it up right here. It's on the right-hand side of my screen, right next to a picture of my father with his Indiana Jones hat with, who is this lady? With their waitress that they met while they're out on a walk. Dad, you're the greatest. I love you. So on the news, here we go. Trending this morning on the news, Donald Trump Jr. The secret correspondence between Donald Trump Jr. and WikiLeaks. Next, we have the American Heart Association. New health guidelines say you might have high blood pressure. Always changing, isn't it? Next, we have the Miami Dolphins versus Carolina Panthers. Live updates. Next, we have Electronic Arts Inc., EA Arts. EA cuts costs of Star Wars hero unlocks after historic Reddit backlash. That's a gaming thing. Next, United States Geological Survey. Strong earthquake hits Iraq and Iran, killing more than 400 people. That was almost a day ago. Yikes. Joint Committee on Taxation. Bipartisan analysis. Senate bill would hike taxes for 13.8 million people. The tax debate continues. And then we have Center County, Pennsylvania. Tim Piazza death investigation. Prosecutor announces new charges. That's one of the deaths associated with the one of the fraternities, which seems to be happening quite well, not quite often, but has happened more than it should across our country. And now it seems like they are definitely doing something about it in the judicial system. So that is what's trending today on our trending news. How about we move on, guys, to a passage of wisdom. Today's passage of wisdom, guys, after reading that stuffed animal thing, not really, but whatever, that has, anyways, this is a great passage of wisdom. It has, it's a challenge on how we look at things, how we view things, what are we measuring ourselves by, what are we trying to be like? We all want acceptance, all of us, whether we admit to it or not. We want to be accepted. That's something that's in us, and that's fine. But where are we trying to be accepted, and who are we looking to for guidance on who we should be? So today's passage is Romans 12, verse 2. This is what Romans 12, verse 2 says. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Now, to say that another way, there's a reading Bible here. It's called this Immersed Reading Bible Messiah, and they kind of just they take things and it changes it all into just like you're reading instead of like it's a story kind of thing. Here's how they say it. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good, pleasing, and perfect. So the challenge here, guys, is of course, don't be transformed and don't follow the patterns of this world. An easy one with that is we have Christmas right ahead of us, right? This is an easy one because it's like, we're getting excited. My daughter already put up lights. I want to get a tree up. I know it's not Thanksgiving. We love Christmas around here. But when you think of Christmas, do you think about how it's an amazing day because it's the day that Christ was born? Or do you think of reindeer, Santa Claus, and what kind of gifts can you get? Right? This is how it's two different ways of looking at a holiday. Are we transformed by the world or not? I mean, that's a simple one. It's a very basic one. It goes deeper than that, though. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Thinking about what God wants for your life, reading his word, finding out what his plan is for you. You have been created with a purpose. You have been meant to be exactly who you are, where you are, when you are. Why is that? There's only one way to find that out, and that is by following after and asking Christ for his direction and reading his word to get direction on what he has for you. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will for you. Great passage this morning. I challenge us all to think about this today more than maybe we normally have. We've heard this before, a lot of us. Some, maybe you've never heard of this before. Let's challenge ourselves today, though, to really dig into it. And how are we viewing things? Are we transforming? You know, are we listening to the jokes at work or at school and smiling and shaking our head when we know it's so inappropriate and degrading to other people, but yet we don't have the courage to stand up and stop it or remove ourselves? So let's think about that today. For now, let's pray. Let's get this day started. Father, good morning. Father, today I want to thank you for this fine Tuesday morning. Another day, another excellent opportunity for each and every one of us to transform our minds and follow after your good and perfect will for us. Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunities that are in store and the opportunities that you gave us yesterday. I ask that you give us the courage today to not follow after what the world is doing, but set ourselves apart. As a light on the hill, as a person that people around us can see what God's love and grace looks like in person. One of the challenges sometimes, Father, is that when I can't or we can't see you physically right here, like we can't reach out and touch you, is where are you? Sometimes we can question that in times of trouble or just in times of doubt. Where are you? Father, help us today be the hands and feet of you so that people can see you through us and how we act and how we behave and how we encourage and how we love and how we don't allow ourselves to be transformed to this world and what's happening today that seems to be popular and common, but isn't appropriate and pleasing to your will. Father, give us the strength today and make this a great day for each and every one of us. Amen. And that, my friends, is a magnificent wrap. Thank you so much for being here today in the morning routine. I'm so excited each and every day for you being here. And for all you podcast listeners, thanks for tuning in each and every day. I love it. There's a huge group listening in Germany and the UK, and I love having you here with me every morning. Thanks for tuning in. And until tomorrow morning for the morning routine, don't forget that today, this Tuesday, you have the opportunity to be exactly who you were meant to be. I love you guys. Have a great day.